The Samnite Wars, conflict, betrayal, and conquest in ancient Italy. The Samnite Wars, 343–290 BC, stand as a pivotal series of conflicts in the dark and turbulent history of ancient Italy. These wars, fought between the fledgling Roman Republic and the Samnites, a fierce Italic tribe, were far more than mere military engagements. They were a brutal contest for dominance, survival, and supremacy. This narrative is one of bloodshed, betrayal, and unyielding ambition, echoing through the centuries as a grim reminder of the costs of empire. The stage for the Samnite Wars was set long before the First Roman Legion clashed with Samnite warriors. By the 4th century BC, the Italian peninsula was a patchwork of tribes, city-states, and federations, each vying for power and territory. Among these, the Samnites, an Oscan-speaking people, were a formidable force. Their homeland lay in the rugged Apennine Mountains, where they built their confederation, the Samnite League, a union of tribes characterized by their independence and martial prowess. Rome, on the other hand, had begun its rise from a modest city-state to a regional power. The young republic was marked by internal strife and external threats, yet its ambitions were boundless. The expansion of Roman influence inevitably brought them into conflict with the Samnites, whose territories represented both a strategic obstacle and an opportunity for domination. The First War erupted over a territorial dispute involving Capua, a wealthy city in Campania. The Campanians, threatened by Samnite incursions, sought the protection of Rome. This alliance was both a blessing and a curse, for it brought the might of Rome into the fray, but also committed the Republic to a costly war. Rome, under the leadership of consuls Marcus Valerius Corvus and Aulus Cornelius Cassus, launched a campaign against the Samnites. Early victories at the Battle of Mount Gaurus and the Battle of Saticula demonstrated Roman military ingenuity. These engagements showcased the effectiveness of the Roman manipular formation, a tactical innovation that allowed flexibility and cohesion on the battlefield. However, the war was not without its tribulations. The rugged terrain of Samnium, with its steep hills and narrow passes, proved to be a natural fortress for the Samnite warriors, who were masters of guerrilla warfare. The Romans faced not only a determined enemy, but also logistical nightmares, as maintaining supply lines in hostile territory tested their endurance. The war concluded with a peace treaty, but the terms were uneasy. Rome emerged victorious, securing its hold over Campania, yet the Samnites remained unbroken, their pride and independence intact. This temporary respite was merely the calm before the storm. The First Samnite War's uneasy resolution left deep scars, but it was the events leading to the Second Samnite War, 326–304 BC, that would define the animosity between these two powers. In 321 BC, during a period of rising tensions, the Romans suffered one of their most humiliating defeats at the Battle of the Caudine Forks. The Samnite general Gaius Pontius, a master tactician, lured the Roman army into a narrow mountain pass near Caudium. Realizing they were trapped, the Romans attempted to retreat, only to find all exits blocked. With no hope of escape, the entire Roman force was forced to surrender. Gaius Pontius, in a grim display of strategy and restraint, made the Roman soldiers pass under a yoke of spears, a symbolic act of submission. The Second Samnite War unfolded as a drawn-out conflict, marked by alternating victories and defeats. Rome, determined to avenge its humiliation, embarked on an ambitious military and infrastructural campaign. The construction of the Via Appia, a road linking Rome to Capua, symbolized Rome's commitment to overcoming the challenges of Samnite terrain and securing its hold over Campania. Battle of Bovianum, 305 BC. The tide began to turn in Rome's favor as the Republic's restructured armies inflicted a decisive defeat on the Samnites. This victory marked the beginning of the end for Samnite resistance during the Second War. The Siege of Neapolis, Rome's ability to project power through sieges, highlighted its growing sophistication in warfare. Neapolis, modern Naples, initially aligned with the Samnites, was brought under Roman control, further consolidating Rome's grip on Campania. The Second Samnite War concluded with Rome as the clear victor. The Samnites, though not entirely subdued, were weakened significantly. Their independence was now under constant threat, and their power diminished. The Third Samnite War was the most expansive and devastating of the conflicts, involving not only the Samnites but also their allies, including the Etruscans, Umbrians, and Gauls. This coalition represented a last-ditch effort to halt Roman expansion, a desperate attempt to preserve the independence of the Italic tribes. The Battle of Saguntum was the decisive engagement of the war and a turning point in Roman history. Facing a formidable coalition army, the Roman consuls Quintus Fabius Maximus Rullianus and Publius Decius Mus led their legions with unyielding determination. The battle was a brutal affair. Decius Mus, in a dramatic act of devotion, sacrificed himself to the gods, charging into the enemy lines to secure divine favor for Rome. This act of self-sacrifice, coupled with the discipline of the Roman legions, turned the tide of the battle. The coalition forces were shattered, and the Samnites suffered catastrophic losses. The Third Samnite War ended with the complete subjugation of the Samnites. Their lands were annexed, their confederation dissolved, and their people reduced to vassals of Rome. The once proud warriors who had humiliated Rome at the Caudine Forks were now mere footnotes in the Republic's inexorable march toward empire. The Samnite Wars were not merely a series of military campaigns, they were a crucible that forged Rome's destiny. These wars taught the Romans invaluable lessons in strategy, logistics, and statecraft. The conflicts hardened the Republic, instilling in it a ruthless determination and a capacity for adaptation that would define its expansionist policies for centuries. For the Samnites, the wars were a tragedy. Their defeat marked the end of their independence and the beginning of their assimilation into the Roman world. Their story is a testament to the resilience of a people who fought valiantly against overwhelming odds, only to be crushed under the weight of a relentless empire. The Samnite Wars remain a dark chapter in the annals of history, a tale of unrelenting ambition and the high cost of imperial aspirations. For Rome, they were the stepping stone to greatness. For the Samnites, they were the harbinger of their doom. These wars serve as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of power and the sacrifices made in the pursuit of dominance, a grim testament to the unforgiving march of history.